My name is Cassy Summers. Welcome to the Curious Universe podcast. Everyone, welcome to the show today. We are going to explore how dimming yourself dims your wealth. Kind of, it's rhymey, it's catchy, right? Dim yourself, dim your wealth. That is your new, like, rah, rah, rah song. This is what I'm talking about. You might be one of those people. I've been one of those people. Still working on it. I'm not perfect. Who dims themselves so that others don't feel jealous. They don't feel bad about themselves. They don't compare. They don't, whatever it is going on there. And so when you dim yourself, here's the thing though, you actually truly, you dim your wealth, you dim your receiving, because you have to contract your space of being. You actually have less of you, less of your magic available. And I know we can do without. We don't need to have all that big fancy stuff because, someone might feel bad about it. You don't need all of that. You don't need to have the attention. You don't need to, shine as bright as you are. But others have needs, right? Others have needs. They have a need and you probably perceive it. If this runs on you at all. I mean, there's a lot of people in the world. So there's a possibility, sorry, I just turned off my little heater, that you clicked on this episode and you have no idea why you're listening to it. And I thank you for being here. Hopefully you get something out of this, or you're listening to this for someone else. Many of us do this all the time, and it's so automatic. It's in an instant. Maybe you tell a funny joke and everyone's like just adoring you and enjoying you. And then you're like, oh, I stepped beyond the most needy person in the room. Someone who needs attention because I don't. Because you don't. So we calibrate ourselves. But that also means that you have to find the person that needs the most money in your world, and you have to calibrate your wealth to theirs. You have to find who has the most body stuff going on and calibrate your body to that. Now, you might not be doing it in every single area. There might be certain areas of your life where you've really let yourself be all that you be. And that's amazing. And if you could have it there and the world didn't end, maybe you can have it over here in this other area. Just something to ponder. Okay, so dimming. What if it wasn't about need? What if, like, being that bigness that you are, that bright, maybe loud, maybe you just pull out of energy. Maybe you just have that star quality, or maybe you're really great at certain things. Maybe you were like the smartest in the class and you just have such brilliance and a wealth of information, or you pick up things really, really easily. Maybe You have talents and gifts that other people don't have. And what if you didn't need any of it, but you could still be all of it? And what if that was not only a contribution to the world, but what if that would, I mean, essentially make you more money than you know what to do with? Wealth is from being. Now, these rules don't apply to everyone, okay? There are people that are, let's just say, different species on this planet, okay? And they can be cruel and they can be judgmental and they can have all the money in the world and they feel validated and right about it. There are those people, you know those people, you've met those people. But I know if you're listening to this podcast, you're not one of those people, because those people would never take the time to listen to this type of podcast. So those rules that they live by, the rules that support them, don't apply to you because you aren't like that. You are a different species. Like you're like a little alien on this planet, okay? And so you need to actually function differently. And when you have less of your being, you have less wealth. When you have more of your being, you get more wealthy. Isn't that funny how it works that way? So if you're dimming yourself for others, then how much wealth are you rejecting? Let's kind of get a sense of that right now. Notice what you notice. How much wealth are you rejecting right now by the amount of you're willing to show up as, by the lack of you that you show up as? That's what it is. Like when you dim, like what are you dimming? You, the being. Oh man, I cannot tell you how many competitive people, not even just women, people in my life have come along, even when I was very, very little. And I didn't realize it. I didn't know that that's what that was. That's what that energy was. That's what was going on until very recently. I'll tell you all about it another time. But I did notice it, but I didn't know what it was. And this awareness just blew me away to realize that this was jealousy and this was competition. And my whole life, I found ways to make myself smaller so that people wouldn't do competition with me, because I just won't be friends with everyone. Like, why can't we just be friends? Why can't we play together? Why can't we create together? Why can't we just make the world greater? So look at aspects of your life. Are there aspects of your life where you have not allowed yourself to be as great as you are so that you didn't outcreate someone else? And if you're not allowing yourself to be as great as you are, then what is that? It's a dimming of you, the being. How much of you, the being, do you have to suppress and compress and negate to facilitate that for others and for their needs? Here's the thing, needs aren't real. And I wish I knew that growing up. Like I wish someone had given me that piece of information. It is so valuable and life-altering for me that needs aren't real. I thought needs were the most real thing, like the exact opposite. I grew up very poor, so my need of food, my need of clothes, my need of a place to live, like all of these things seem so intense and dense and real to me. And it was Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, that shared in a class I was in one day that all needs are inventions. And I was like, what? So first my brain was not liking this because I'm like, well, we have like the pyramid of like the basic needs. Like we need to eat, we need to sleep, we need people, we like all these things. So I'm like, we have these basic needs. And then he just started to kind of ask questions that started to break up where I'd made that reality real. And I started to see where I had created certain needs. I had really invented certain needs when they were actually just a preference. I'd prefer to have this. Not that I need this. I'd prefer, you know, delicious food. But what if I don't actually need it? And definitely not to the degree in which I thought I had. So I don't want to like sit here and do a little brain jam with you because I know how powerful the brain is and or mind rather, that we give so much power over to our minds. And if I sit here and try and computate this with you, especially since we're not actually having a back and forth conversation, we might not get anywhere. But if you're willing to go beyond what that mind is saying to you and just tap in, and maybe keep the basics if you want, but what needs, like you need someone in your life. You need a boyfriend. You need to be a millionaire. You need daddy's approval. You need, what do you need that isn't some sort of invention? That if you really looked at it as a choice to have or not to have, would create massive change and possibility for you. Okay, so now let's go back. So we have these people that have these needs. They need to be seen. They need to be the center of attention. They need to feel good about themselves. They need to, I don't know, whatever. They need to win that day. But you don't have that need. And so what do you do to fulfill their need? To be in service to them. You make yourself the servant to their needs, the slave to their needs by dimming yourself for them. What if you did not have to do that ever again? What if it created more for everyone? If you chose to be the wealth of you, to have the wealth of you, to broadcast the wealth of you, what if that was the greater gift? Because with more of you there, whether that attracts attention or not, whether that gets all the guys or all the girls looking at you or not, your being is always a gift. Even if it's never been acknowledged, even if no one's ever told you that, and I'm sorry if they haven't. But you being you is always a gift. It always creates more. It is wealthy. It is wealth embodied, your being. You showing up as being you in that moment, however that actualizes. Diminishing yourself is not the gift. It's not the gift we've been told. It's not the gift that we bought into. It is not the gift. And if you're like me, you were fed that lie. You ate it, maybe gave it to some other people. But you can give that up now. You can let it go. I thank you for this conversation. This was a quick and dirty one, I gotta say. I liked it. I feel like we went pretty far in a short amount of time. And I would love to have more of this conversation with you. I'm going to invite you to a telecall I'm doing called Handling Jealous Bitches. Okay. This is just we're just touching on what's possible with this. We're going to go so far into that call. You're not even going to recognize yourself and your glorious beaming being afterwards. So find the details below, jump on that call with me, and let's see what you're capable of. Bye for now. Thank you
for exploring the curious universe with me. Your curiosity matters. And what if together we could create a greater, more curious world?